G'day guys, welcome back, and today of course we are here to review AFL Fantasy for round 14. Now we'll start with my team first of all, and I feel like I had a good week until I looked at the league for the channel and wasn't very good in the end. My rank overall was 25,880 for the week, which was a score of 1,963. Now I thought that was pretty good, but apparently that was terrible. So looking at a couple of positive notes, Tom Stewart bringing him in last week was a good result. He got 110. Max Holmes continuing on his great form with the 131. Sheasel 131 as well. Rosie 117. Chera coming in, I think it was last week as well, with the 120. Johnson, really good game from him as a rookie with the 104. The two Ruckman, Gawn and Marshall with 125 plus. And then Bailey Smith, thank God I had him as a vice captain, that I wasn't able to stress too much on the captaincy call, because I think I probably would have gone with Dawson or Merritt. So probably made the right call in the end. Bailey Smith got the 136, so that was, 272? So not too bad. But there were a couple of really bad results in the end. Now I had to take Angus Clark's score as the defender, so that wasn't great. Will Ashcroft only got 61. Wasn't impressed by that at all. Brisbane weren't very good in the end anyway, but still not very good. Hugh Jackson I brought in. I went to go try and change for trade when I realised he was going to be the sub. However, I couldn't do so, which was just lovely. You love to see it. And Levi Ashcroft, not very good with the 39. Caleb Daniel, after a really good start to that game, only got 78. So not the best, and overall pretty disappointing weekend overall. Now, before I get to my brother's team, we have to mention the debut of Tom McCarthy for the West Coast Eagles. What a performance from him. This guy was playing in the, VFL 3 weeks ago. Played one game in the Waffle, and now he's in and had the most disposals on the ground for the West Coast Eagles. 31 touches, I believe. Scored 101 in his debut game. He is a defensive midfielder. He's jumped up in price from the basement 230 to 293. This guy is going to be so good. Now, of course, West Coast do have the bye this week, but if you don't bring him in this week, of course, you have to bring him in next week. This guy is going to be brilliant for the West Coast Eagles. He used the ball exceptionally well off that half-back line for West Coast, and you have to bring him in. This guy is an absolute lock for the rest of the season. At the very least, if he can continue that sort of form, you could almost take him out for maybe an out-of-form defender. I wouldn't be doing that just yet, though. I'll be bringing him in for a reserve. I will be doing that in the next week or two, definitely, because I love the look of this guy. But, I mean, Tom McCarthy, where the hell has he been? I think I saw a tweet or something say that he was about 3 months ago stocking shelves at Coles, and now he's been one of the best players of the West Coast. Absolutely love that. Great story, and really good to see him playing well. But let's look at my brother's team now. Now, overall, he got 2,031 over the week. Very good score, I think, for us, out of us two anyway. His rank for the round was 12,459. Now let's take a look at a couple of really good players for him. Now, Wanganeen Miller did really well, 128. Lockie Ash has been brilliant for him. He got 112. Jordan Clark, 97. Rory Laird, 94. So very good through there. Tom Liberatore, 121. That's a nice score there. Brian Myers continues on his great form with the 112. And that's pretty much all we've got on that side of things. Now, on the lesser, the not so good signs, he did have Will Ashcroft as well, which isn't great. Tristan Cherry, not a great score, 93. I mean, I'm saying 93 is not a great score, but for him, he could probably do a little bit better. Christian Petrarca's came off a little bit in the last month or so, 81 for him. And his, big trade, he thought this was going to be a big money generator. Neil Erasmus, 39 subbed out. Don't think he would have liked that performance too much at all. Didn't really talk about it, if I'm being honest. He never mentioned it to me. But just looking at it now, I'm sure he's very disappointed by that score from Erasmus. So, with that being said, let's get to our trades for the week. So, my trades at the moment are going to be Levi Ashcroft out for Colby McKercher, Clayton Oliver out for Andrew Brayshaw, and Campbell Gray out for Harry Lemmy. Now, that last trade is purely just a placeholder at the moment, that Lemmy trade. I'll probably pick up someone else. I was going to go with McCarthy, but I just can't. He's a defensive midfielder. I've got Gray in as a forward, so I can't make that trade yet, but I'm going to be getting him in next week for El Harley, so that's all fine. I will be getting rid of Gray for someone. At this stage, Lemmy is in, but that's just a placeholder. So, to the two big trades. Levi Ashcroft out. He's dropped off of form. He's been brilliant. I'm not taking anything away from him, but he's definitely cashed out now. His break-even's going to be up upwards of like 120. He's not going to be able to do that. So get him out now. He did have one more week before the bye, but pull the pin at this point. And I've picked up Colby McKercher. Now, if you've watched North Melbourne over the past 2 weeks, he has taken over, in my opinion, the Harry Sheezel role that he had over the first year or two in his career. Playing off of halfback, getting a lot of touches, probably taking a few off of Caleb Daniel, if I'm being honest. At the moment, he's only priced at $6.67, which is very low for a guy who is playing the Harry Sheezel role at the moment. I think this guy is going to go big in the next month or so. So I'm going to be getting in early on McKercher. Now, Clayton Oliver does have the bye this week. He has done well over the past couple of weeks before the bye. However, I'm just a little bit hesitant on him. I could have gone with him or Will Ashcroft. I've gone with Oliver at the moment. I may root to regret that, but I've gone with Andrew Brayshaw as the in. Fremantle have obviously had their bye already. Brayshaw is such an underrated midfielder in the competition. Pretty much always scores hundreds in AFL fantasy. So I brought him in as I think he's the highest averaged midfielder for Fremantle this year. So I'm going to be going with him. I could have gone with Sarong, but I think he's always susceptible to a tag. So that's why I've gone with Brayshaw. Now let's get to my brother's trades of the week. So he is gone at the moment. Boxall out for Johnson, Petrarca out for Horne-Francis, and Toby Green out for Ned Long. Boxall trade to Johnson, that's for pure cash generation. Probably should have made that trade 3 weeks ago, if I'm being honest, but gets in now just before that price starts to get way too high. Christian Petrarca out for Jason Horne-Francis. Returned last week. Horne-Francis had a very good score. Didn't play much of the last quarter as well, if you don't know. Had a little bit of an injury concern with his shoulder, but I think he should be fine. It was more rested than anything, in my opinion. And he's priced at $8.18, which is, I think he actually lost price, even though he scored 113. So his break-even's going to be right down now. Good time to get on Jason Horne-Francis. And Ned Long, over the last 3 weeks, has averaged, I think, over 110 in the competition. Priced at $8.75 at this stage. So Toby Green with the injury was a decent trade, I thought, for a while, but seems like now injury form a little bit, and I think that's probably a decent trade to make at this stage. So not too bad. I think those trades from both of us aren't the worst. I'm surprised he's kept on the Neil Erasmus. We'll have to wait and see how he's going to go with that one. But finally, let's take a look at the league ladder for the channel. So at the moment, the Cheetah Cub still holds on to top spot. Is having a pretty nice lead at this stage. 100 points over the Welshman, who is in second. Delusional Fools is in third spot after a pretty good week as well. He is only 40 behind the Welshman, so not too far away. Now, I did take a look at something, and it's not great. Pub Feed with Sauce has dropped outside the top 10. I always mention him every single week, and I'm sorry that he's listened to us because he had one good week, had a really good start to the season. Obviously, he was number one. I've mentioned it many times. He's dropped outside the top 10, unfortunately, so hopefully he can find some form, but for now, he is outside the top 10. Scrolling down the list, getting to me and my brother. My brother jumped me this week after a good game from him. He scored, 70 more points than me this week, basically, and he's jumped in front by 19 points on me, bro. That is absolutely crap. That's what happens when I bloody make a couple of stupid trades. There's a pretty big logjam around that point between my brother and Skiv Goats. Between 40th and 44th, there is a 67-point difference. So it's getting pretty tight around that middle of the table. Obviously, that's not going to matter. I did want to try and finish in the top 30. It's going to be tough at this stage because I think, I can see here 35th spot is about 150 in front of me. So I'm going to have to make some pretty big trades. Hopefully, I was pretty lucky though. I remember mentioning last week that I was going to try and get Charlie Curnow with his injury. He only scored 25 against the West Coast Eagles, so dodged a bullet there. But nonetheless, I think the next couple of weeks with my trades, hopefully should get my team in good order going into the rest of the season. But guys, that's pretty much all we've got for the review for this episode. Of course, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you did enjoy it. But for now, catch you all in the next one.